We have now met the authentic cadences, the perfect authentic and the imperfect authentic, the five chord going to a one chord. That is to say, the dominant to tonic, the most powerful and most final sounding of all of the cadences. But there are a lot of cadences that are a little less powerful. You know, every chord except the diminished chord in our major scale could be a resting place. Because remember in the book it says that major chords are all very stable, and minor chords are almost as stable. And so six of the chords in the seven note scale have stable chords. So we can stop on any of them. If we do the rhythm and the progression right, it feels like a resting place. And we call any cadence that doesn't go to the one chord, we call that a half cadence. Now, your book has a different definition. Your book says a cadence that goes to the five chord, the dominant chord, is a half cadence because 5 to 1 would be a complete cadence. And there are a number of books and theory books that say this, that a cadence that ends on the five chord, the dominant chord, a major chord, that's a half cadence. But there are other books that say anytime you don't go all the way to 1, you go through progression and you find any stable chord and you stop and make it feel like an ending, that is a half cadence. I prefer that definition. It gives us more flexibility. But regardless, we can have a cadence on any chord that's stable. So a 2 chord, a 3 chord, a 5 chord, a 6 chord. We can stop on any of them and make a cadence. So that's one kind of cadence, the half cadence, the cadence that just stops before the tonic. But there are two others, and these ones I've sketched out for you, that are a little different. There's the plagal cadence. Now, the plagal cadence is this guy. Whoops, let me get it on the screen. This guy right here. You'll notice that instead of 5 going to 1, this is incorrect, sorry. Instead of 5 going to 1, it's 4 going to 1. That's not 5, that should be a 1. So that's a one chord. It's like in the key of C, it's an F chord going to C instead of a G chord going to C. That's called a plagal cadence. And the reason it's important to know the plagal cadence is at the end of many hymns, we have Amen. Well, the note I sang is the top note of the 4 to 1 cadence. A lot of religious music uses this 4 to 1 cadence, the plagal cadence. It gives a sense of sacredness to music. So we can have 4 going to 1 instead of 5 to 1, plagal cadence. And then the strangest one is when we have a 5 chord, and you know it's supposed to go to 1, like I've got right here. This is a 5 chord. As you see, it goes to 1. There's your bass going up there, and I did have it imperfect authentic because I had the top go up to the A instead of to the C. But this is just a typical 5-1. Well, sometimes composers don't want to hit that tonic. They don't want to stop the tension. So what they do is they take this bottom note, and they just change this one note change. Let me find my pen to show you how it changes. Here we go. And what they do is instead of writing, well, let me correct this. Boom. That's a 1 chord. Plain and simple. 1, 1, 1. Okay. Instead of going to a G, they let that note go up to an A. And it's very easy on the ears. Our bottom G is already jumped to the C. That's powerful. The D goes up to the E. The leading tone goes up to the C. But the G, instead of staying where you think it belongs, just goes up to the A. So it's very smooth. And what that is called a deceptive cadence because now instead of a 1 chord, this is a 6 chord. And the 6 chord is not what we expect after 5. We think 5 should go to a 1 chord. We go to 6. Now, anytime we have a 5 chord and we resolve to anything other than a 1, it's a deceptive cadence. We expect 1, so we're deceiving you by going elsewhere. But the really common one is the 1 to 6 because it's just one note different. It sounds really good to our ears. So that means that there are 4 kinds of cadences. There's 5 to 1, basic cadence. That's your authentic cadence. Comes in 2 types. Perfect, where everything's in root position, and the last note of that tonic chord, the soprano note, is also the tonic. It's the 1. So it's a tonic in the top, root position on the bottom. That's the perfect authentic. Imperfect authentic is any variation on that, where we don't do all those things. We still have 5 going to 1. Then we have the half cadence, where we stop on a different chord, just shy of going to 1. Oftentimes it's 5, but not exclusively. We have the plagal cadence where we do 4-1 instead of 5-1. So we have the sound of Amen. And we have the deceptive cadence where the 5 just wants to go to 1, but we take a turn and go somewhere else, do something unexpected. And most usually we go 5 to 6. Those are the basic cadences of tonal functional classical music, the music from the time of Bach. We're talking about 1700, probably earlier, up until the tonal music of the present day, most pop music, some classical music, certainly the music up to 1900, the music we listen to most in classical music, the Romantics, the classical guys, Beethoven, Bach, Brahms, all those guys. These are the cadences that they worked with. So those are our cadences. Get to know them, get to love them. They're very, very useful. I'll see you soon.